Alright, before I show you gold and GC, I want to definitely direct your focus. If you don't know how to trade, please come here. I won't do that to you, alright? I just did a video there. I do want to tell you that I'm not some young fellow just trying to get some clicks. I've been at markets for a very long time. I just took my company offline. Wanted to retire, now I'm just approaching this as a hobby. Alright, so I'm not an alert service. I definitely want to share that with you. So that's back in 2020. Here's something from 2017. It got some music in it. I'm not going to play that, but you definitely want to check that out. Here's my thoughts on markets. And thank you all for being so kind, liking this post. I want to make trading very simple for anyone. All right, I want to make sure I share that with you. You can read that. Pause the video. Thank you again for supporting that. Here's some prices on gold. All right, so again, look at the date. Look at the date. It's up here somewhere. All right, so 22nd is the 26th. I want you to take a look at that. All right, so that's those prices there. Let's kind of scroll back to where that was. All right, I want to make sure you saw that information there. All right, price was here back on the 22nd. Now I want you to pay attention to what price did. I knew they would end up coming back there. That's why I told you to take some days. They got right between those prices, all right, before they went under it. And I did tell you to take some days because I knew if they would go up, they would end up coming down there. It's manipulation. That's just how it works. Look at where they gap to, right in between that area there. And they have a little ways to go, but if they're going to stay above there, this is where your sellers are absolutely going to meet them. All right, so now let me do this. Let me carry you to the NQ. Give it just a moment. It's coming. All right, so here's your NQ. All right, now let me show you this really quickly here. I'm not going to be before you long. All right, so that's your NQ. I gave you that price back on the 20th. All right, so 319.75. Let's do this really quickly here. And I also gave you another price. I did give you another price, but there's that 319.75. All right, and there's another one that I just gave you on Friday. We'll take a look at that as well. All right, so that's that price. All right, and as you can tell, they managed to get up there. I'm gonna just scroll back just enough here. Oh yeah, so they managed to get up there to it. Didn't go beyond it too much. Went up there one more time. And then of course, here they are. Now, that gap up that they're doing, you see this price here. I'm trying to make this as brief as possible. That's why I didn't want to have to scroll down at all. Let me kind of go to this one. Again, thank you so much for the support on that. And that was on Friday. I took and gave you guys that information on Friday. That was here. So that was here. That price there. All right. So that price there. They may be headed to it. Now I did tell you in the video. Let me go and get that. Get that really quickly. I did tell you in this video here when I released that higher time frame assist that they shouldn't want to touch that price. I'm not looking for them to touch it. All right. That's the thing that I want you to know about this one. I'm not really wanting them to touch that. Can they? Sure. They can touch it if they want. I just don't want them to. All right, so I'm not random. I definitely wanted to share that with you as my community here on Day Trader today. It's about indications. I got tons of them. If you would like, you can come over here and take a look. There's a lot of them. If you want support and resistance, if you want an oscillator, I even made an oscillator. I got supply and demand zones. I got levels that's plotting ahead of price. So you can kind of know where the market can turn at before it even gets there. All right, so I'm not random, and again, I've been doing this for quite some time. I even have chart style templates for you, so it'll have the trend on there. It'll have the majority pattern. So, and again, if you don't want to spend anything, it's just $100 for the indicators, or a little bit more if you want the time and sales. But if not, come here. It's free. $100, and I'll teach you how to read the chart. Most viewed video if you decide to stop by. Go ahead and take a look at that. If you want to learn how to time the 1 minute bar, the hourly, I'll teach you based on the clock when the actual low or the high is set, or if your bar is going to be a bull bar or a bear bar, even when it's heading in the opposite direction. Your threshold, how far the live candle will pull back. Price action trend with no indicators, you can know what the trend is. There's a method to this. Majority states the principle itself says that the minority is compelled to follow. I teach you what majority actually looks like in a chart. And then of course your bezel, so you never have to look left in order to know where the market is actually going. That's important. Anything to the left will never stop you out. I wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.